We're one of the best basketball destinations in the Southeastern Conference. The loveliest village on the plains in Auburn Arena for Auburn and Texas Southern. Welcome you inside the arena. Britt Bowen alongside the Hall of Fame coach Joe Champy. We're all the way at the top of the rafters here in the arena as Auburn gets set to host the Tigers of Texas Southern. Coach, this is two talented teams, two opposite philosophies. What do you expect here tonight?
Certainly two different styles, Britt, with Texas Southern thinking about playing the game from inside out and Auburn from outside in with tempo.
And for Auburn, their tempo is set by their point guard, Justin Powell. He's the reigning SEC Freshman of the Week after back-to-back 26-point performances.
How about that freshman? After that second 26-point performance, he made believers in us all. His ability to knock down a three, but more importantly, to deliver the ball to his teammates.
And the way he shoots the three, he does it better than anybody that's dressing out in the orange and blue tonight. 7 of 9 against South Alabama and 4 of 6 against Memphis. Ready for tip-off here in Auburn Arena. The Tigers win the tip, and Auburn will control this first opening possession.
Auburn working right on their spacing and pace to attack the paint and kick the ball back out.
Jalen Williams with the first shot of the game, and he rattles it home. Tigers on the board 2-0. And look at the starting five for Texas Southern. Jordan Carl Nichols getting in the starting lineup for the third time this season. Their leader, though, of course, is Michael Weathers, back-to-back SWAC Player of the Week.
You have a team with many games in this Texas Southern group, but more importantly, they haven't played that well together. And as you see the Auburn defense come right up and having the courage to take that first charge.
So the Tigers get the charge. Foul will be on Walker. That's his first. And that's what Texas Southern is going to try to do tonight against this Auburn team. And, Coach, looking at the starting lineup for Auburn, what's the bigs have to do inside?
Well, more importantly, Auburn's bigs are going to draw you away from the basket. So that's going to bring a problem to how they're going to defend Texas Southern. Their bigs are wanting to stay and protect the basket. But when you have Jalen Williams as stretch five, you have to make decisions. And they're putting this Texas Southern defense in decision-making mode.
And a big foul there for Texas Southern and Gilliam. Devin Cambridge to the free throw line. First free throw missed. And, of course, that's been one of the biggest talking points this year for Auburn coaches is the free throw shooting. Auburn only shooting 59% coming in.
Well, and this young man is struggling there right now, and he's shooting around 30%. So he's a good shooter that has to start believing in himself.
Cambridge averaging 7 points, 3 rebounds out of Nashville, Tennessee, and the third free throw missed. So a tough start for the Tigers and a push underneath. Be a foul on Allen Flanagan, his first. Tigers will press.
Auburn trying to pick up the pace of the game, the tempo. It's a press that is just going to try to disrupt where you start your offense from and basically take some time off the clock.
Weathers drives and kick. Here's a dish to Gillum. He answers with a three. Texas Southern with their first points of the night.
Both teams in a man-for-man, staying inside the paint, trying to pressure in the paint.
Powell with a mid-range. His shot got blocked, but contact from Michael Weathers, and, man, that's a big foul. That's his second.
Well, for a senior to think you're going to block someone's shot outside the paint, that's a defensive mistake, and I know Coach Jones doesn't like that sequence right there. Weathers is a outstanding ball player. He's a transfer from Oklahoma State, and he's a young man that leads this team in steals and assists.
And it's correction on Weathers. That's his first. Big free throws there from Powell. Tigers lead by 1. Back and forth here in the opening minutes in Auburn Arena between Auburn and Texas Southern. Alexander swings to the top, going to Walker. Right wing on the floor, Weathers. Weathers driving through traffic. Jump stop and a walk. Yeah, shuffled his feet inside the paint, and another turnover for Texas Southern. That's their second. Johnny Jones in his third season as Texas Southern's head coach. Of course, he's no stranger to Bruce Pearl in the SEC Coach Champion as he coached at LSU. Nice steal take away from Alexander and a two-handed jam to close out the possession.
Well, getting back to Johnny Jones, he's a young man, as we look at him right now, that has a lot of experience in the SEC. He played point guard for Dale Brown at LSU, went to the Final Four, and put himself in a position to get back involved in coaching. Was a great recruiter, recruited Ben Simmons for LSU, and a great pro ball player right now. And Johnny, in his coaching techniques, just how he played. He was a point guard for that LSU team and gave them a lot of grit and the ability to attack and run the floor.
JT Thor making an impact for Auburn. Alley-oop, Powell to Williams.
Now that's a quality fast break. 4 people touch the ball, and Powell sets it up for Williams.
Auburn leading 8-5 over Texas Southern.
Auburn's trying to defensively push this Texas Southern team outside the three-point line, get space, and with that lazy pass, Thor takes the ball to the basket.
Thor missed the attempt. Ball tipped out of bounds. Texas Southern will take over. Yeah, Coach. Yeah, JT Thor, 6'10", freshman out of Alaska. A presence on the defensive end.
It's just a great setup. Powell has that instinct to get the ball to the right player and just make the good pass.
Another steal for Auburn. Missed 3. Auburn gets a second chance.
And there's one key for Thor right now. He's one of the top offensive rebounders for this Auburn team, but more importantly, offensive rebounding is got to be a key component for their success in the SEC.
Flanagan kick out 3 for Johnson. Left short. Thor with another offensive board. Put back. Doesn't go, but this time a foul, and Thor will go to the free throw line.
You just love his hustle. And you talk about hustle points in a coaching environment. You look at who's going to the ball. Auburn only has 2 players at the offensive end going to the basket. Texas Southern had 4 players. So the hustle points go to Auburn at that time. Now you have to earn those 2 points at the free throw line.
And the free throws tough to come by tonight. Auburn so far 2 for 6.
Well, Brett, we talked about free throws in the pregame, and you look at Auburn, their key players are making free throws in Powell and in Flanagan and Williams. Now you got a situation where you just got to find a way to keep believing in yourself. You are a good shooter. If you're going to shoot the 3, you can knock down the free throw.
Texas Southern swinging around the perimeter. Here's a drive from Alexander. He's denied inside by Thor. Powell, outlet, Flanagan, Trey. Yes.
See, what you like about that, we're finding out that Auburn has that rim protector now. And that's a key for any good defense, to have that eraser covering the rim.
Powell rips it out of the air, avoids or stops the fast break rather for Texas Southern. They'll set it back up in the half court. Wide open threes, Alexander, and count it. Second 3 of the night for Texas Southern.
Alexander is a key component to this team. He's a Georgetown transfer.
JT Thor again, a left-hand tomahawk jam.
Someone talked to JT about attacking the rim, because that's probably the most aggressive I've seen him this season.
And definitely the best game, or the most active he's been at the rim offensively and defensively in the first 5 minutes tonight. Floater up, nice touch. That one coming from Justin Hopkins, his first points.
We can see in Hopkins' game and in Alexander that they've got that shooter's mentality, that shooter's touch off the dribble.
Flanagan head fake, has space, jump stop, left-hand floater. Didn't have the touch. Wide open underneath. Nice look. Walker, he gets it to go.
Now, as a coach, you're concerned about a quick pass down the floor. That's another defensive mistake in terms of one of the guards had to be back to cover that on that fast break, and neither one were back.
That's what Texas Southern's liking to do right now, Coach. If they get the rebound, they're trying to push tempo up the floor, as you see from Nicholas. Nicholas drawing the foul underneath. This time it'll be Flanagan, as he was not set. Just about 6 minutes in here in the first half. This one led by Auburn 14-12. J.T. Thor with a steal. Their last home game here just a week ago set a school record 22 made threes against South Alabama.
Just an outstanding performance from 7 different.
Of course, Alabama did it in 2019, but Auburn did it back in 2016 against the former
Auburn
Tigers
players
head coach,
that hit a three. Anytime you have that combined effort, you're going to be an explosive offensive team.
And for Coach Bruce Pearl, that's his MO. That's his team's MO, Coach. Auburn, they've had their most success when they can knock down the three.
And I love his comment, I'll keep shooting the threes until because they're more than twos.
Auburn on that list twice for most three-pointers made in a game. 22 this year. Of course, Alabama did it in 2019, but Auburn did it back in 2016 against the former Tigers head coach Cliff Ellis in Coastal Carolina.
You see a consistency with Auburn shooting the three and making threes. They've had 15 games with 15 or more threes to lead the SEC since 2014.
First free throw made by Jordan Carl Nicholas, the junior out of Pearl in Texas.
They're the type of ball players that are going to develop.
Second free throw in and out. And Williams goes over the top of the defender to get it.
Great effort by Williams to take that rebound away.
Coach, they've started 2 for 2 tonight. How much do they rely on? Auburn by 1, 14-13. Bruce Pearl said in the week that this was going to be a tough matchup against Texas Southern. Drive to the basket coming from Moore. Kick out. Mid-range jumper from Johnson. Air ball cleaned up backside. Cardwell. He stuffs it home.
You like the size and energy of Caldwell, of Moore. They're the type of ball players that are going to develop in this atmosphere and the learning and development under Coach Pearl.
Texas Southern offensively. Coach, they started 2 for 2 tonight. How much do they rely on the three? Traditionally, they have not been a good three-point shooting team all season. Bounce pass, nice look underneath. Unable to finish, defended and blocked by Jalen Williams.
Auburn is breaking down to Southern. Texas Southern, just their ability. You look at every player and how they approach the game. And Caldwell there, weak side rebound and protecting the block, but then attacking the rim and making sure he can knock down that two.
Well, this rotation coming
Auburn has interchanged now, has put in about 9 players right now, so they're going to attack Texas Southern energy in this game. And right now, attacking the rim off the dribble, getting second chance points, is showing that Auburn is breaking down to Southern. Texas Southern just their ability to take control of the tempo.
Auburn knew coming in Texas Southern was going to try to be physical, Coach, and Auburn is trying to be just as physical here. With this rotation coming in, here's a foul by Cardwell as he clips Chris Baldwin.
Well, if I see one difference from Memphis to here, it's the physicality and the aggressiveness of this Auburn team. Each player has picked up their grittiness, and looks like they're playing with a bad disposition.
And correction, the foul on Powell, but nonetheless, Baldwin goes to the free throw line. 50% free throw shooter, knocks down the first.
Sorry, Coach, when you said John Jones with such enthusiasm, it gave me a chuckle.
I was trying to give you an idea of who we were talking about.
John Jones coming in for Jalen Alexander for Texas Southern.
Here's Powell to the hole. Pull-up jumper. Rolls in.
What do you like about that?
Second free throw right on home.
That's Coach Johnny Jones' son. But he's got size of 6'6". He knows how it's been a pleasant ride from what I understand, reading about their relationship and him playing for his dad. But not to go to the basket.
Sorry, Coach, when you said John Jones with such enthusiasm, it gave me a chuckle.
I was trying to give you an idea who we were talking about there, Britt.
I knew it. I lost my words. Here's Powell to the hole. Pull-up jumper. Rolls in.
What do you like about Powell? He's not as quick as you would want, but he's got size at 6'6". He knows how to change speeds and his ability to beat the defender off the first dribble and get into the free throw lane, but not to go to the basket. Get to that spot and knock it down. That's a basketball IQ right there.
Well, that's the thing about Powell. You look at his stats, a lot of people think he just sits on the perimeter and jacks up threes, but when you watch him play, he's not afraid to get in there and knock down the mid-ranges and do the dirty work.
You're right. Auburn now going to a 2-2-1. A little bit different press, but this press is going to look for one trap at that midcourt and a steal.
Rassis from the corner knocks it home. Now Texas Southern, they are 3 for 3 starting this basketball game from deep.
And from that corner, from the left side corner, you got to take that away.
Auburn trying to answer back, too strong. Weather setting the pace the other way. Outlet, Hopkins to the hole and in.
More for that easy basket.
Auburn extending out on the perimeter, putting pressure on the Texas Southern guards.
Opportunistic. Yes, the Texas Southern is going to run when they can because of the size of Auburn, and they've got some.
Johnson inside, and blocking foul called on Texas Southern. Auburn will keep it on this end after this timeout. And for Texas Southern, they are battling in Auburn Arena tonight, only trailing the Tigers by 2. They're Johnson inside, and blocking foul called on Texas Southern. Auburn will keep it on this end after this timeout. And for Texas Southern, they are battling in Auburn Arena. Here's our final Saturday college football lineup for the regular season, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. LSU shocked Florida last Saturday. They'll finish up their season against Ole Miss at Tiger Stadium. The SEC Network alternate channel will have number 25 Missouri and Mississippi State. And to find the SEC Network alternate channel in your area, go to secnetwork.com. Texas Southern coach knocking down the three ball. Final Saturday college football lineup for the regular season, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. LSU shocked Florida last Saturday. They'll finish up their season against Ole Miss at Tiger Stadium. The SEC Network alternate channel will have number 25 Missouri and Mississippi State. And to find the SEC Network alternate channel in your area, go to secnetwork.com. For Auburn, and what has to change? Texas Southern coach knocking down the three ball, and it's really kept him in this basketball game against Auburn, even despite 5 turnovers.
Well, it's not a forced three, but it's coming within their offense. Auburn's taken away the passing lanes and forcing them to take the outside shot, and Texas Southern has been fortunate in making 3 of 3.
Yes, Rassis, Alexander, and Gilliam, who have knocked him down for Texas Southern. On the flip side for Auburn, coach, what's working for Auburn and what has to change?
Well, Auburn's defensive tenacity right now is exceptional. They're in a position where they're breaking down Texas Southern's offense, but more importantly, their ability on the offensive end to rebound has been a key component. I'm impressed with Caldwell. I'm impressed with Moore, the way they're attacking the rim.
Yeah, Caldwell, he came off the bench tonight. He's played in every game this season out of Augusta, Georgia. It's been a factor for Auburn. He returns to the floor.
First 4 games, 4 or 5
Takes the inbound, swung around the Moore.
One thing that in the paint signifies Coach Pearl's ability. Every possession, especially baseline out of bounds and sideline out of bounds, they try to score.
Jones with his first shot attempt of the night's no good. Hopkins driving to the hole, stuffed away in a double team, and Auburn keeps it inbounds with more.
Once again, we're seeing that rim protection that was lacking in the first 4 games, 4 or 5 games. You like their ability right now to defend the paint.
Spin around, hook shot.
Williams going back to Turbo.
From Cardwell, a factor.
Cambridge pull up mid-range in the corner. No.
Tries to get it out to
Texas Southern can tie it or take the lead with a 3 here.
Noticing Auburn's ability to shoot the 3. Watch how many times they're Texas Southern definitely working when they're on their spacing and their ability making the shot off the to attack inside out.
Bounce pass Rassis, spin around, hook shot. No. Presence there from Cardwell, a factor.
Tigers trying to build on a
Turbo gets the screen.
Texas Southern
tries to get it out to Cambridge for a 3. He knocks it down.
noticing Auburn's ability to shoot the three. Watch how many times I'd like to know the percentage of when they're making the shot off the pass compared to making the shot off the dribble.
They started out 20%.
Significantly higher, I would assume. Here's Rassus for a tray. No.
Weathers taking it to the basket through contact, and no, doesn't go.
Tigers trying to build on a 5-point lead. Texas Southern 0 of their last 4. Here's another three off the right side, and Rassus with a board. Auburn from three, 33% on the season. Today they started out 20%. Lost in the backcourt, getting it back is Weathers. Weathers taking it to the basket through contact, and no, doesn't go. Tip forward, another chance for Texas Southern, and a foul from behind. Freebies coming for John Jones.
You're impressed with his basketball IQ because of his size, 26 foot, but he understands the game. He's an angle player.
His first 15 foul for Auburn.
And if there's an opening gap, he's going to take
John Jones, the free throw shooter out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
A little extra treatment in terms of
obviously, he comes from a basketball family.
Exactly.
In terms of his dad, watching his dad play all those years and coach and being around it. You're impressed with his basketball IQ because of his size, only 6 foot, but he understands the game. He's an angle player. He's going to get the ball to the right people, and if there's an opening gap, he's going to take that to the basket.
Sure, he always gets a little extra treatment in terms of encouragement from his dad on the sideline.
I would think it's the opposite. I definitely would from a parent to
Auburn, on the other hand, has been aggressive offensively.
Son and daughter being coached.
Jones gets a hand in there, but it doesn't matter. Baldwin's mid-range falling for it.
Pull up for Auburn. Jamal Johnson knocking down his first field goal.
Auburn running the flex now, getting some movement. And you want to break down the defense, Britt, in terms of you want to make Texas Southern make defensive decisions. And right now, Auburn's got people movement and ball movement running their flex offense.
Turbo 101 against
Auburn, on the other hand, has been aggressive defensively, as Jones gets a hand in there, but it doesn't matter. Baldwin's mid-range falling for it.
That's the shot Texas Southern wants Auburn to take.
That's their game. Texas Southern's game is from the inside, and they'll look. Baldwin hit 6'9".
Stretch tipped it up, fell to the hands of Jones. Going to work is Johnson. Cambridge, wide open three. No. Racing to the rebound, Thor. He can't get it to go. And Texas Southern, through contact, will take it the other way.
Both teams playing quick now, and sometimes when you play too quick, your decision-making becomes minimal. And right now, other than you look.
6 minutes left, first half. It's Auburn leading Texas Southern by 3. Auburn Arena has gained the reputation for one of the best student sections in the country, the Jungle. But unfortunately in 2020, that's not the reality, as you can imagine, here on the Plains. And for Auburn, this team tonight, Coach, they could use some rowdiness from the crowd. But unfortunately, all basketball season, you're not going to see this, and you're going to see this across college basketball. But that home court advantage, Coach, over the years, it's been an impact for Bruce Pearl and his team.
Well, Brett, where are we at? We're not. Do we make a wrong turn? This isn't the Jungle. This isn't the Cathedral of Chaos. Where am I at? But still, to Coach Pearl and this Auburn team and what they've done over the years, you're looking at a team that has, the most wins in this place. They've got 30. They've got 30 non-conference games that they've won. You've got a team. You've got an environment. The officials aren't intimidated. The visitors aren't intimidated. It's like watching a summer league game.
Jamal Johnson fouled on a three-point attempt by Justin Hopkins. That's Hopkins first, but a costly foul. That's 3 freebies for Johnson. 44% free throw shooter coming in. And yeah, Coach, for Auburn, I mean, this is a place, this home court advantage has helped them win an SEC regular season championship. And this is a place, Coach, let's be honest, no opponent prior to this year in the last 5 years looks forward to coming into Auburn Arena with this crowd.
Well, they've won, so many big games in here. And Coach and his staff have always talked about how important the students are, how important the fans are. And playing in an environment like this, very difficult to pick your team up and motivate them to stay focused every possession. Auburn, I notice now, is turning into multiple defensive team. They're going to some zone. They're going to a 1-3-1. They're showing a 1-3-1 so they can take. They're trying to steal possession off of this Texas Southern team right now.
Turned them over 6 times tonight. Hook around pass for Hopkins on the wing. And an offensive foul for Texas Southern, making the 7th turnover of the night for the Tigers. Here's another look at that Auburn pressure here, Coach, with that 1-3-3.
Well, look at the coverage. Look at the movement. Powell in there, and then stretch inside their ability, and then Johnson takes the charge. But you look at the basketball, and you tell your players, Britt, what does the basketball see? So if I can cover with my hands and my body and force you to shoot over my hands and pass over my hands, I have an advantage. And that's how this Auburn team's playing right now.
Powell off the dribble, finds stretch. He stuffs it home underneath.
Now, did you see that pass? If I'm playing with Powell, I'm working hard to get open because I know I'm going to get a touch. Great vision by Powell. And young players in high school and in junior high school, when they see a player of Powell's ability to not only shoot it but to score it up and make easy passes to teammates and rebound assist, young players like my grandson, Hayes and Jake, they need to have a video of this just as a teaching video for them. But just watching his awareness right now. He's going to catch the ball, 2 people on him, but he turns it around and gets it nice pass to the inside. And what you like about Powell at his size, he's an angle player. He doesn't have to be, in basketball, you don't have to go 100 miles an hour. You got to be able to change speeds, get into the gaps, see your teammates, and knock down shots in spots where the defense won't move to.
Into the corner, Texas Southern trailing Auburn by 6. Gillum on the wing, catch and shoot tray for Walker. You can count it, make it a 3-point game.
Texas Southern's coming in here with shooting some sharpshooters now, knocking down some threes.
4 of 6 coming in, and again, a team that hasn't been a high percentage 3-point shooting team all year. Here's Powell to the hole, gets a tip back to go. Justin Powell doing the dirty work for Auburn.
Well, he didn't give up on a shot. He shot the ball, he knew it was short. He attacked the rim and got an easy tap in.
Tigers by 5, 34-29.
Slowing down the pace. Auburn now is changing tempos by going to the zone defense. Texas Southern, most teams that play against the zone don't move the ball enough and don't have enough patience. But Texas Southern, the last 2 possessions, have shown patience and scored.
Jordan Carl Nicholas becoming a factor inside as of late. Last few possessions for Texas Southern. He has 5 on the night. Powell getting it going for Auburn. Stretch inside, turn around, wide open for a trade. Powell, swish.
Inside out pass. Jamal Johnson sees Powell open, knows he can't force the shot, gets the key pass out to him.
And Thor comes flying out of the air to block it. And that'll send this to the timeout. Boy, Thor has been a presence for Auburn on the defensive end. Texas Southern staying in it with a 3 ball, but Auburn's Justin Powell answers with a tray ball of his own. He has 9, Auburn 37, Texas Southern 31. Final 3.5 minutes of the first half. Coming up next.
Finals, New Year's Day, the college football playoff lives on ESPN.
Yeah, still some decisions to be made for the College Football Playoff Committee. Of course, Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State. They're the top 4 currently, but Texas A&M and Coach Jimbo Fisher making a case. You got Iowa State making a case for 8-2. The biggest game this weekend, though, certainly that Notre Dame Clemson game is is can the loser of that game still find a way in? Still an exciting weekend of college football left. But back here in Auburn Arena, good time had by all here in the first half of play. Auburn leads Texas Southern 37-31. Coach, this has been a scrappy game. What's your takeaways here?
Well, right now, if I'm Auburn, I'm concerned about Texas Southern being able to knock down the threes. They have 4 threes, and Auburn has changed their defensive schemes, going to a 1-3-1 zone, showing that. Now with this, with the baseline out of bounds, Texas Southern, are you working to steal possession now and score? Or Auburn takes a lot of pride in defending baseline out of bounds and going for turnovers in this scheme.
Alexander off the inbound, knocked out of bounds. Who's it off of? As Cardwell got a piece for Auburn, but the Tigers are going to get possession.
Boy, I like Cardwell. Dylan Cardwell plays with so much effort, and his ability to react, to pressure the ball, the defender, and then deflect it off his foot. Love the hustle.
Franklin with a pivot back to Powell. Well defended by Weathers. Powell lost his footing. Be an easy turnover as 3 Texas Southern players were there for it. But Michael Weathers flying in for the two-handed jam.
My one concern on defending the ball was, as the ball is coming down the floor, you have to find the ball first of all and slow it down. You didn't have that. We run away from the ball and then you were too far underneath the basket. You know, Franklin was too far under to defend it, but Auburn at the offensive end is still trying to extend that offense.
Ball lost out of bounds to Auburn. Texas Southern will get it back, Coach, and that's back-to-back stops for Texas Southern, and not to mention offensively, they're 4 of their last 5.
Well, Texas Southern has picked up their defensive intensity in the half court, and Auburn was using the dribble a little bit too much and wasn't making the defense make any decisions, was just slowing them down and seeing the ball.
Texas Southern spreads Auburn out, and Jalen Alexander gets it to go, and one coming.
They are going to play. Alexander and this Texas Southern team, they're just players. They're ballers, and you have to understand that. As an Auburn team defensively, you have to stay in a stance and pressure the ball out. They're in attack mode. Texas Southern is in attack mode. Most importantly, they're gaining some confidence in their game right now.
Alexander to the free throw line for Texas Southern to make it a 1-point game, and he does.
Last 2 minutes are important for both teams. How do you affect the game in these last 2 minutes? Do you change defenses? Do you change offenses? Do you just get the ball to your shooter? Key characteristics and how you play these last 2 minutes.
Powell spin around the Cardwell, handoff, another 3. Left it short, but the rebound tipped, and Auburn will keep it with Williams. Williams spin around inside the paint. Texas Southern thought they had a clean strip with Jordan Carl Nicholas.
I know we're far away from the action, but it looked pretty good from up here.
It did. I think I agree with Johnny Jones and the Texas Southern bench on that call, but although it was a strip, Auburn's in the bonus the rest of the way. 8th team foul for Texas Southern, so Williams has free throws.
I'm not saying we're up high, Britt, but I've had my oxygen tank on for a while, being this high up.
I'll say, though, I do like the view and you can see the floor clearly.
Yes, you can.
Second free throw good for Williams. Big free throws for Auburn. As Texas Southern, they're 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Auburn now 8 for 12.
Auburn going back to man-for-man defense, changing defenses in this last 2 minutes.
Alexander crossover, driving, catch and shoot. Nicholas. Auburn almost knocks it in the Texas Southern basket, but Powell brings it up. All tipped as Auburn was looking for Johnson.
Unnecessary. You have to be careful. You have to value every possession. This Texas Southern team, like I said, has got great basketball IQ. You're not going to get away with throwing a soft pass.
Weathers stopped by Johnson. Good defense for Auburn. Forced a tough shot. Hail Mary pass ripped out by Gillum. Texas Southern numbers to the basket, and the finish coming from Weathers. A 1-point basketball game, under 60 seconds left between Auburn and Texas Southern in the first half.
Texas Southern showing patience offensively and just getting good ball movement, good people movement to the basket.
And a walk for Auburn will give Texas Southern a chance to take the lead for the first time since 18 minutes in the first half. Timeout on the floor. And, man, Coach, looking at the stats from this game, one thing that automatically stands out is Texas Southern's shot percentage, shooting 56% from the floor and playing defense the last few trips down the floor. They turned Auburn over 3 times in the last minute 23.
Well, when they're shooting 56%, we're shooting 44%. My concern as a coach is what do I have to do to slow them down, force them to take some bad shots. And on the other side now, these last 46 seconds, you have to find something positive in your game defensively for this Auburn team. And now offensively for Texas Southern. Be ready for the pressure. Get good spacing. Keep your offensive pace going and get an easy basket.
One-point basketball game for Texas Southern. Auburn needing a stop and hopefully a chance to at least get one more shot off before the half ends. Weathers drives and kicks. And Nicholas with the finish with the hook.
Great pass by Weathers to get it to Nicholas down there, and he takes just a short one explosive dribble and a nice jump hook.
19 seconds. Auburn will have the last shot. Powell, Auburn's leading scorer with 9 SEC Freshman of the Week. Will he take it? High screen. Williams with a 3 for the lead, in and out. Rebound for Texas Southern and the Tigers. And a push underneath. It'll stay on this end of the floor. Big foul for Texas Southern because that sends Auburn to the free throw line. So Chris Moore will shoot 1-and-1 free throws. He's an 80% free throw shooter on the year. First 1-and-1 is miss. A big miss, deflected out of bounds as time expired. And that's how the first half will come to an end. Jalen Alexander, the leading scorer for Texas Southern with 8. Justin Powell, the leading scorer for the Auburn Tigers with 9. A back-and-forth first half, not the way Auburn wanted to finish as Texas Southern goes on a bit of a run. Coach Joe Champy, they set the tone there towards the end.
They certainly did. You're looking at that 2-minute sequence at the end, and Texas Southern definitely won that, going in with the 1-point lead here on the Plains.
Reactions have happened. You could take your UC treatment in a different direction. Ask your gastroenterologist about Xeljanz.
Halftime in Auburn Arena between Auburn and Texas Southern. Earlier this week, Maria Taylor sat down with the SEC's 6 African-American women's basketball coaches and how they make an impact around the league.
First of all, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. This is a unique sorority that we have here in SEC Women's Basketball because all 6 of you are African-American women's basketball coaches, and in all of the Power 5, there are only 6 others. And I want to start with the camaraderie that you have, because as soon as you entered into the Zoom, it was cracking jokes, it was having fun. How would you describe what it's like to be a part of this sorority?
It's a special thing. We celebrate wins. We encourage each other during losses. We celebrate birthdays, anniversaries. We truly are a family.
When things are rough, and we all know we hit some rough patches, there's a trust there that we have with each other, that we can come and talk to each other about things that we may not be able to talk offline with other people because we're walking the same walk right now.
For me, it's just humbling. I'm the youngest of the group, so they pick on me like the big sisters. I grew up watching all of these coaches these women do their thing.
Yo is the youngest, but I'm the newest to the bunch. And every single one of them reached out to me and welcomed me with open arms. I have a relationship with every single one of them. I look up to these women.
Let me just interrupt. You hear Nikki got that first year SEC coach's voice? We all had it. We all had it.
Go ahead, Coach. You talking about she looked up. She wasn't looking up to me. We was up there battling on the courts. What are you talking about?
You see it, Maria. Here we go. It's about to chime in. That realness. We always have someone that we can call and know that we're going to get an honest answer. We might not always like the answer that Dawn going to give us, but it's going to be an honest answer that we're going to give.
The NCAA women's basketball has been comprised of a lot of older white women and some men. Now it's our turn, and it looks a lot different than what it looked like. And it looks like what it's supposed to look like, where we have a diverse group of women. Fortunately for us, we converged on the SEC. I'm truly proud to represent this conference in this way.
At the times that we're living in right now, with dealing with social justice being at the forefront of conversations, all of you women have been vocal and you've allowed your players to have platforms to be vocal as well. What is the message that you're constantly trying to bring to the forefront during these times?
The student athlete is the most important component of this movement. And the athletic directors are recognizing that their voice matters.
I can go back to when I first took this job. 3 days into the job, I had to go down to Jackson, as a woman of color, to speak about the removal of the flag, the Confederate flag that had been around for 126 years. That was pressure. Changing the flag is an important step toward inclusivity and end racial injustice.
Being from Mississippi, my mom and dad were here in Athens with me the day that you guys went to Jackson, and they stayed on their phones the entire day just to see what the outcome was going to be. And so what you guys did for the state of Mississippi is something that I never thought I would see happen. And I still get emotional just talking about it. So it is impactful work that we are doing, and it's why it's so important. And so no matter how hard it is, no matter how trying it gets, no matter how dangerous it gets, we have to use our voice.
Before you guys walk into rooms, you're not head coaches. You are first and foremost Black women. And I'm curious how you guys balance just doing your job with also knowing that you have the responsibility of doing a great job so people can come after you.
And I just want us all to just walk into that room with that presence, with that power. Like Vice President-elect walked onto that stage before she spoke, and know that we belong there. And we worked our butts off to get there.
We are so more than just wins and losses. The way we impact these young people, the challenges that go with that is incredible.
What I hope that we are representing is a better tomorrow. And that we're leaving a pathway that allows our young daughters and sons to have it better than what we had it.
I hope that people of all races can really understand what Black people bring to the table. We're funny, we're smart, we're fearless, we're hopeful, we have the toughest of skin, we're pivoters, we're conquerors. We are people who, if given an opportunity, we're going to thrive in it. And we're going to be better than you ever thought. And don't be afraid of that, because as we're uplifting your team, your country, your city, your state, we're bringing you right along with us. Let's keep shining, ladies. Let's keep being that beacon of hope, because somebody's watching, somebody's listening, somebody's learning, and then our legacies will continue through other people.
We'll have more from Auburn Arena after this timeout. Halftime at Auburn Arena. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll have your first half stats and halftime analysis.
Your way, way better.
Back on the Plains, we still have one half of basketball left between Texas Southern and Auburn. The Texas Southern Tigers leads Auburn by 1, and they did it with good shooting, 58% from the field, and that was led from better passing. Coach, they moved the basketball extremely well in the first half.
They certainly did. They showed a lot of patience. You have Baldwin taking down that 12-foot jumper. Now the penetration inside, and Nicholas knocks it down, and then the ability to drive it and just attack the rim.
And for Auburn, Coach, it was second chance points. Auburn got some easy putbacks.
Well, Auburn's going to take those long shots, but the ability of Thor inside, what a great offensive rebound. And Cardwell on the weak side knocking it down. And then Powell taking it to the rim and not giving up and getting the tap in.
Yeah, for Coach Auburn, a team that they like to shoot a lot outside, 3 for 14 from 3 in the first half. So when those shots aren't knocking down, Coach, and they aren't falling, those second chance rebounds and second chance points are huge.
It's a key component to the game because they want to space you out. When you space defenses out, there's open lanes to run to the ball, but you have to have the will and the determination to go after the ball and secure it. That's what Thor and Cardwell has been doing in the first half.
Been a battle inside the paint tonight, 18 apiece, and plenty of scoring to go around as well with 9 different players on both teams scoring tonight. So Justin Powell leading the way with 9 points.
But Powell's not in the flow of the game like he has been the last 2 games. You know, in that Memphis game, you look at his stats and what he's done. He came in and scored the first 11 points, and then the second half, he added 15 of Auburn's 37 points. He has to be a consistent contributor to this Auburn offense.
Nice job by Auburn closing on that last defensive possession.
Now what you want to see from Auburn is people movement and ball movement, and they start off with the flex. Coach going back. Coach is a master with this flex offense. He runs so many cuts and so many slants on it that he gets the shot for the hot hand, which is a key component. You have 5 people moving, ball movement, and a defense is in a decision-making mode.
Auburn, Coach, with a 3.5-minute scoring drought. So Texas Southern, what are they doing defensively to kind of be a thorn in Auburn's side here?
It's nothing more but playing hard. They're playing with a bad disposition, like I said. There's a lot of grit in this team. They're not letting you go through the lane like it's a freeway. They're going to bump you and misdirect you. And they're going to, when the ball's coming to the basket, they're going to aggressively defend it. And that's Auburn's learning that quickly now. This Texas Southern team has a great defensive IQ, and they possess that want to guard the ball hard.
His free throw, Auburn trying to tie it. Well, Flanagan's second, and he does. He has 4 tonight.
Well, Flanagan is shooting over close to 70% from the free throw line, but right now, Texas Southern, the first 4 minutes of the second half is key, just like the last 2 minutes, which they won.
Alexander's deep shot missed, almost a putback. Alexander, to note, by the way, for Texas Southern, he's the leading scorer with 3 fouls. Something to watch if he gets another. Beautiful entry pass.
Great look by Auburn to find the Auburn player on the inside. You found Williams. Well, he was against Gilliam inside at 6'5", so they got the ball inside. And the key was the pass. Thor threw the ball to Williams like it was a shot. He threw it to the top of his head so Williams could go get the ball and put himself in a position to catch and score.
Free throws still a tough trend for Auburn. 59% on the season as Williams knocks home the second. And a quick foul on the floor for Auburn. That'll be a push from behind. That was on Cambridge.
Right now, you want to be aggressive. Both teams want to be aggressive, but you got to be careful of the foul situation. It's early in the second half, but this being a close game, you got to watch how quickly you put the other team into the bonus.
Cutting to the basket, Alexander adding another deuce. He has 10, first player in double digits tonight.
Well, Texas Southern showed patience. There was a back cut. Auburn mismanaged their switching, and Texas Southern took advantage of it and got the easy basket.
Texas Southern being physical with Auburn on the defensive end.
Auburn is usually a team that picks and pops, and Texas Southern is doing a good job on the pick and pop.
Shot clock winding down, and Auburn didn't get a good look. Texas Southern by 1. They're wanting to extend this lead. Their largest lead of the night has only been 1.
Well, they're bringing their post up high. Simply, they're running a Horns offense that they're trying to get Auburn's defense spread out and put them in a decision-making mode.
Flanagan with a left-hand finish.
Well, that's Flanagan's game, as we mentioned before. His ability to take it hard to the rim, to create his own shot. He's that game changer for this Auburn team. Once again, he's a lockdown defender. He forces the ball to the baseline. No help side for Auburn, and an easy basket for Texas Southern.
Yeah, simple offensive play there as Texas Southern able to draw the double team and left a man wide open for the finish.
And that's credit to Texas Southern. Instead of forcing that shot on the baseline, the offensive player waited for the defense to come over and just an easy pass into the paint.
Hand check on the floor on Walker. That's his second foul. And the third team foul for Texas Southern. Thor comes off the floor, and Babatunde Akinbola comes on for Auburn.
Oh, Britt, that was good, Britt. I thought his first name was Stretch.
Well, Stretch much easier. Bounce through traffic. Floater good by Devin Cambridge.
Cambridge does a great job of seeking contact and finishing the shot.
Wide open space, but contact. Illegal screen there by Jordan Carl Nicholas.
To me, as a coach and looking at that's a unforced mistake right there. You know, once you hand off the ball, your movement is going to be watched by the official. You can't screen that defender off as hard as he did.
Powell, high off the window for the deuce.
That was an example of what I talked about earlier, the change of speeds. He takes it 6'6", he wraps it around his back, he takes it hard to the rim in a great angle, and now you're going to get some excitement. But then now Texas Southern blocks the shot and forces him to go to the free throw line. But with Powell's movement, like we said, you look at the young man, he slows down out, takes it behind his back, one more dribble, and then lays up on the glass. But just watch his change of speeds. Just a nice move for a freshman. Shows so much maturity for a 6'6" freshman from the state of Kentucky.
Devin Cambridge with a big free throw.
You know, the young man in Justin Powell, I'm seeing more aggression. I'm seeing he's asserting himself as the point guard, as a player that will get you the ball once you get open, and that's important.
And he can really see the floor, Coach. And like I said, he does a lot more than just shoot threes, and which is why he's been in the headlines the last 2 weeks.
All right. You know, people say, well, he's too big to be a point guard. Well, he doesn't have to dribble through it. He can throw over it. And most of the traps, he'll be able to see over the trap and just get the passing lanes for him. And easily they can break the press.
That was a foul on Stretch, his second personal. Well, and another thing about Powell is he was a steal for head coach Bruce Pearl and his staff, because Powell didn't play a ton his senior year of high school. Texas Southern makes it a 2-point game.
What you like about Powell, #1 player in Kentucky by ESPN, but 59% field goal in high school. He's carried that over to his Division I playing in college.
Powell gets the deflection off the block, spin around, move, and the finish for the freshman. Wow.
See, when the young man gets the shot blocked, some players would pout and put their head down. He'll go and secure the ball. What does he do after he secures the ball? Takes it to the rim.
Another spin of his own from Michael Weathers, and he is in some pain on the floor. Powell went hard to the paint, through contact with a spin, and let's hope he's okay. We'll hope have an update after this timeout. His trainers will come out to take a look at him, Coach. And Coach, Michael Weathers, I mean, he's the go-getter for Texas Southern. I mean, this is big here. He's a SWAC Player of the Week for the last 2 weeks in a row.
Well, he's that transfer from Oklahoma State. He sat out last year, so he was anxious to get back in. He's led this team in steals, assists. He's that team ball player as a coach you want to have on the court leading your team. He had 21 points in the Wyoming game that they won. He's shooting around 75% from the free throw line.
He's up off his own power. We'll be back after this. 50-46 Auburn.
So when you need advice, activities, and access to free resources, head to California's parenting website, first5california.com.
Trainer still attending to the senior guard, Michael Weathers, out of Roland Park, Kansas. As Weathers was driving hard to the hole and made a spin move through contact, and he caught the brutal end of the spin as Akimbola definitely got him there. Ball lost out of bounds.
And basically, when he gets hit, it looks like his right arm, he tried to break his fall with his wrist. It looks like he just got a good jolt, and the type of player he is and the grittiness that he possesses, I'm certain he'll be back shortly.
And certainly wish him all the best. A key contributor for Texas Southern. For Auburn, on the other hand, no question who the key contributor has been. It's been the same player for the last 3 games, the freshman Justin Powell.
His ability to float in the lane. He possesses some great body control, and he goes after the ball. Now, when you can knock down the 3 and you can take it to the hole with the change of speeds, it's impressive. And now it's a never give up attitude.
And Justin Powell, his ability to not only score but handle the basketball again, because when he came into Auburn for his freshman year, Coach Champy, he wasn't planning to be the starting point guard, but yet here he is due to the roster situation for Auburn and Shareef Cooper.
Britt, he's a basketball player. And any basketball player, when they have an opportunity, they're going to show what they're made of. And his heart and soul is wanting to play the game. And the type of game he plays with his maturity and his IQ. He sees the floor well. He takes his shot on balance. He delivers it from his teammates, and he's a complete ball player. He's going to get assists, he's going to get steals, and he's going to rebound.
Flanagan catch and shoot at the buzzer for Cardwell. Texas Southern trying to trim this Auburn lead as they...
Well, they limit Auburn to 1 shot right there, but great box out. And now when you get boxed out, do you stay boxed out? A young ball player might stay boxed out, but you can't. Or when you're screened off, you got to be in a position where you get around the screen, you get around the block out, you attack the rim.
And attack the rim there, but nothing to show for it. As Flanagan taking it to the basket. Doesn't get the bounce, and Texas Southern outlet in transition. Plenty of space for the 3 as Rinas rims out. Auburn will slow it back up and set the tempo.
Well, now you have Powell out of the game, so you have Flanagan handling the ball. This is interesting that Flanagan's going to handle it with Jamal Johnson up on top, but it looks like Flanagan's running the show. You can play a good pick and pop game with Thor, but Flanagan decides to take it to the rim.
Changes directions and has the finish through contact. We'll get an extra free throw to finish off the play.
What you like about Allen's game is ability to seek contact, keep his balance, and make the shot. Maybe that's because of the added muscle he put on this summer. Credit to the Auburn training staff and strength staff. He put 15 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, that's huge. And you said it, that keeping balance through contact on that replay, Coach, he makes that look so much easier than what it actually is.
Because of his upper body strength. But get the phone number of that strength coach. I think, Britt, I'm going to recommend that you get over there and have some work done.
Yeah, 5'8", 160, need a few pounds,
yeah,
Coach.
You weigh about as much as my one leg. But here we go. Auburn's back defending. Texas Southern now down by 7, has to find a way to come up offensively with the key basket.
Texas Southern, one thing they had for them in the first half was the 3 ball, 4 of 8 from 3. haven't made one yet here in the second half of play.
Auburn right now is defending the paint and doing a better job of forcing bad shots, and Flanagan has found a way to attack the rim. The good spacing allows him to have a driving lane, and he does it under control.
Another free throw attempt coming for Allen Flanagan. And another thing Auburn's doing on the defensive end, they're not allowing second chance opportunities for Texas Southern.
That's the key right now. What you're seeing is Texas Southern shooting percentage coming down. It went from 57 at halftime. It's at 50% now. Auburn is going up the ladder. They're at 45. They started off at 42. So you're finding a change in the ability to score and the ability to get to the free throw line. You know, taking the ball aggressive to the basket is a key, Britt, in terms of drawing fouls. And right now for Auburn, Flanagan is that man.
Jamal Johnson with the floater. More free throws coming from Auburn, but Auburn's had 22 attempts tonight, just to Texas Southern's 7. Auburn's 12 of 22, only 55%.
What does Jamal Johnson bring to you? You know, he's that three-point specialist, but being a three-point specialist, I want to see his ability to get to the free throw line, and I've been impressed right now this season. You know, last season, if you're looking at a scouting report, you're going to go, he shoots the ball, but he never takes it to the basket. And now this year, he's had over 34 attempts. He's only gone nine times, so you want to be able to attack the rim. You have to have two parts to your ability to score.
JT Thor with an effort rebound gives Allen Flanagan a chance at the finish.
Will someone tell Texas Southern to guard Allen Flanagan on the dribble? But that's just determination. That crossover dribble was outstanding and gets a little bit of a congratulations from his teammate underneath the basket, Sharif Cooper, who was wishing he was out there getting that game going. But right now, it's about these 5 players on the floor and taking their job. Now, Auburn's at the 11-point lead. Now, Texas Southern, you can put them in a panic mode, but the maturity of this Texas Southern team, let's see if they can get an easy basket.
Beautiful cut to the basket by Weathers, but the pass not there from Walker.
Yeah.
But yeah, for Auburn, Sharif Cooper, the highest rated recruit in program history, not eligible to start the season. And therefore, Auburn's had to rely on Justin Powell and Tyrell Jones at the point. And tonight, Allen Flanagan at the point.
Well, you know, he was the highest rated signee in program history, but consensus 5-star. But what he would bring to the table is the ability to make everyone better, because he attacks the rim, he scores, but people would move and get open and be active because of his ability to deliver the ball.
More free throws coming this time is for Dylan Cardwell. And Coach, you notice the last few possessions, the trend, Auburn is getting to the paint, attacking the rim, and making Texas Southern pay for it.
Yes, and one man is taking it inside, and Flanagan is growing as a player right now with his ability just to slow down and set up his teammates. And I would tell Dylan Cardwell right now, young man, I love your game. I want you to take that ball to the rim. I want to see you break that rim. You can knock that rim down because we have a couple more underneath, but get a little bit more aggressive when you're going to the basket and knock down these free throws.
Speaking of free throws, Cardwell 1 for 1 tonight. Auburn slowly pulling away on a 15-2 run over the last 4:40, a 10-0 run. And an offensive foul coming, and Dylan Cardwell feeling it on the defensive end.
He's liking his game now, isn't he?
And only about 1,800 allowed inside Auburn Arena. You can hear every one of them, half with a chuckle, and the other half with a round of applause.
Cardwell from Augusta, Georgia. I guess that's a new dance down there. Part the gator, and I don't know what else that was, but Cardwell is showing some emotion. And that's what they need. They need someone that wants to take the charge, have the courage to take that charge. And Cardwell showed it. Take the ball to the basket.
4 looks inside to Flanagan.
Auburn trying to build on a 15-2 run and a 12-point lead. Shot clock down to 3. Step back 3. Flanagan, you betcha!
You know, the scary part about him, he has the calm. There's 4 other teammates on the floor, but his vision and his focus, he's not afraid of the moment to create his own shot and then do a step back 3. So impressive game. And that's the type of players that coach develops. He trusts you, and then you trust him to play your best for him. And that's a winning gene that Coach Pearl possesses, and very few coaches have that. But Flanagan right now, with the hot hand, I would think they're going to try to set him up again.
Last made basket for Texas Southern by Brigham broke a 18-2 run. Powell behind the back. We've seen it once. Thor with a 3. Missed wide.
I was disappointed in Flanagan didn't have the opportunity to take that to the basket last possession, but Texas Southern comes back with an easy 2. And now Auburn, you have to be careful. Offensively, you were in a flow because of Flanagan was touching the ball. And now they're running the flex. Who's going to possess this possession?
And fake Flanagan bumped, layup, and the finish. Boy, Alan Flanagan going off for the Tigers tonight. He leads Auburn with 15 points. Flanagan 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. And Dylan Cardwell is feeling it for the Auburn Tigers. This one's all Auburn, 60-50 over Texas Southern.
ESPN.
Saturday, SEC Nation gets the full day of football started at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central, with previews and a special look at the SEC Championship game between Florida and Alabama. The crew is back at 6:30 Eastern, 5 Central to wrap up the 4 afternoon matchups and get you set for the Gators and the Tide. Then after it's over, head back to the SEC Network for a full breakdown with interviews with players and coaches. You can always watch on the ESPN app if you're out and about, because nobody covers the SEC like we do. And for Alan Flanagan, coach, he's been the spark for Auburn in this second half. No question, a big reason why Auburn has a 13-point lead.
Well, you just look at his want to take the ball to the basket, his ability to stop and go, get the force, get the contact. He just has taken this team on his back with his step-back jumper, but more importantly, just his emotion to play the game now, and he's ignited this Auburn team defensively also.
And Auburn's been ignited on both ends of the floor, and a lot of second chance opportunities inside. Auburn's not relying on the 3 this half, Coach. They're relying by getting to the basket, and that's what they're doing.
And that's what a good team does, and that's what a coach sees what they have. They were covering the 3s, and they had a cold hand, but Coach Pearl went back to his flex offense, and then he just opened the floor for Alan Flanagan, son of Wes Flanagan, who was a star here in the early 90s. But I tell you what, I was around when Wes was here. He had game, yeah. But son Alan has a little bit more game.
Would you tell him that today?
Yes, well, obviously he's going to hear about it. So.
Here's another 3 from Flanagan. Left short, and Texas Southern trying to find their offensive mojo after only 12 second half points after a 40 first half performance.
They came out flat in the second half, but give Auburn credit defensively. They made some adjustments, and they came out a little bit more aggressive. They've taken away that dribble drive from this Texas Southern team.
High post going to work is Williams. He lays it in off the left-hand side.
Set play where they isolate him with his left hand. He catches, drop steps, and takes it hard to the rim.
Williams with 9 for Auburn. Ball on the floor. Able to hang on to it as Jones. Swung around, wide open 3. Powell looks back for his teammates and will set the pace.
In that scheme right there, in that possession, Auburn defensively covered every possession of the ball by switching and doing a great job and then securing the rebound.
Little mid-range pull-up.
It looks like it's contagious for Auburn since Flanagan has taken it to the rim. Everyone wants to take it into the paint.
That's Jalen Williams' last 2 possessions down the floor. Here's Weathers. He answers with a big 3. Welcome back.
As I gave Auburn credit for defending the shooter, Chris Moore decided to take that possession off.
Well, and let's remember Weathers, he got hurt earlier in the game. Good to see him back in and knock down a jumper. Nice look for Stretch. Couldn't handle it from Justin Powell.
And see, as they get older and they get better, they'll find a way to be in a position where they'll be ready for his passes.
Alan Flanagan, night and day difference between the first half and the second half. 3 points in the first half, 1 for 4, and 5 for 8. 15 points, 1 for 3 from 3.
See, and what does that say to you, Britt, in terms of such a difference? Well, he's that type of ball player that lets the game come to him. He knew his team was in trouble, so he took over. But as he grows more into this season and finds out who he is, he has to be that game changer. He has to start off aggressively. And as I mentioned, Moore missing that defensive assignment. Well, where's Mr. Moore? Let's look at that Auburn starting 5. I don't think he's out on the floor anymore.
Not a coincidence for a former coach, is it?
Not at all for that defense. That was a defensive breakdown. So you just have to talk. Great teaching moment for Coach Pearl.
1 on the shot clock at the buzzer. Did it go? And they're going to want to review it.
Oh, I got to believe it did. Right there, quick step. But more importantly, Auburn, instead of looking for the 3, what are they doing? They're attacking the rim off the dribble. Another key component to this Auburn offense.
All right, while the officials review it, we'll take a break. 66-57, Auburn leads Texas Southern.
Cutwater, set your cocktail free.
Jalen Williams had a buzzer-beating shot before the break, but as it turns out, officials say that's really, really close. Did he get it off? Still waiting to find out.
By that clip right there, it looks like it's not a basket.
And Texas Southern, regardless, will add the basketball. No basket on the floor, as Williams has 2 points taken off his stat line after a 9-point night against Texas Southern. So for Texas Southern, though, after a slow start offensively, they're 5 of 7 shooting in the last 5 minutes of play, Coach. What do they have to do to get back into this?
Well, they have to get into a flow of the game. Auburn has taken that their pace away in doing just overplaying the ball handler and forcing and taking away the middle. Now Texas Southern showed a lot of patience early. Now they're having difficulty, just like that forced pass by Texas Southern.
Huge flush by Jalen Williams over the defender.
But that was created by a poor pass by Weathers to his teammate, and they're showing some frustration now. They're down by 11. They've got to find a way to come back in. And they can't get it just by one basket. They have to show offensive patience right now and just get some easy baskets.
Auburn with a hand on it. Shot missed. Tigers hold defensively, and Auburn, as you said it, Coach, is being stingy on the defensive end of the floor.
You're right.
Auburn's attacking in the second half by getting to the basket. Down 1-3 thus far. It's been by that man right there, Alan Flanagan. Hardwell's pass tipped out of bounds. Well, 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's another look at that Auburn basket. Cambridge finds Powell.
Well, it touched 4 people's hands. You look at it's team offense now. Their ability to run the floor and get the ball to a teammate that's open. What you're seeing is the ability to share the ball, but as a team now, and the immaturity of forcing passes. You've got to be able to, right there. You've got a team that's looking to improve every second they play the game.
Who says you can't have it all? Now, is the time for 5G. Now is the time to join T-Mobile.
Justin Powell and Allen Flanagan have been the go-tos for Auburn. Powell knocking down the tray, going behind the back to the window. He can do it all. And, of course, he's SEC Freshman of the Week for that right there. But Coach Allen Flanagan, he's been the leader for Auburn in this second half.
He certainly has. It's just an inside-outside game. There's the power game by Flanagan and the finesse game by Powell. But Flanagan has really become that game changer for this Auburn team. Gave him a lot of emotion. Gave him just that inward thought that, hey, I can play this game. I can be aggressive. I can take the ball. Yeah, the three's a great shot, but when the three's not going down, where do you go? And what do? You take it right to the rim with aggressiveness.
Well, you and I were talking before this game, Art. It's been Powell the last two games, dropping 26 on South Alabama and Memphis. And the question was, who was going to step up for Auburn this game? Because eventually there's going to be a game where Powell doesn't have it going from three. Who's going to step up? And tonight, that's been Allen Flanagan, no question.
Well, it's been Flanagan in spurts, Britt. When you look at his game, you looked at the St. Joe's game, he showed up at the end. You look at the Memphis game, Flanagan was calm. He wasn't afraid of the moment, his ability to create his own shot, and he scored 7 points in the final minutes. He was that go-to ball player that Auburn needs all the time out on the floor, and everybody else can feed off of him.
Cambridge trying to beat the buzzard, and he was fouled on the shot.
Now, it's not a coincidence that Auburn hasn't taken a three-point shot.
Yeah.
It's because they saw the success that Flanagan had, then Williams had, and then Powell taking it to the basket. So it's become contagious.
And things being contagious, Coach, that's sometimes what you need to be a spark. You find one thing that works and force the other team to stop it. And so far, Texas Southern hasn't been able to.
Well, that becomes your strength. Texas Southern came in here with the game plan. What does Auburn do? They shoot the three, so we're going to defend the three. But when Auburn spaces you out like that, there are driving lanes. And if you have the courage and the ability to take it and change speeds and attack the rim, that's a key component to Auburn's success right now.
Notable exit, Dylan Carnwell getting his hand and wrist looked at on the sidelines for Auburn.
Texas Southern back to running their horns offense, putting two post people up high at the elbows and starting movements in their offense from that position.
Alexander, little step back jumper. And still no second chance opportunities for Texas Southern. Powell down the lane, and it was blocked underneath. I think Coach Bruce Pearl wanting a foul.
That's, as a coach, Powell's got to understand. I've complimented him about changing speeds. He's got to slow down and just make the defense make a decision rather than taking it into the defense and just making a poor pass and getting bailed out by a deflection.
Nice touch, Jalen Williams underneath. He's got 13.
Don't you like that now, their ability to catch in the crowd and then shoot over people? This team is one of the biggest teams in the country right here in Auburn. It's the biggest team Auburn's had forever. Average size is 6'7". Use that size. Use that strength.
Yeah, Auburn averaging seventh best in the country in terms of height.
Here we go. Cardwell 6'11", Thor 6'10", Stretch 6'10", and Williams 6'8".
Yeah, that's something, you're right, that under Coach Bruce Pearl and his tenure, Auburn has not had that until this year.
Hey, you don't coach that, Britt.
Right.
You recruit that, and then you develop that to attack the rim. And how about that 6'6" point guard taking the ball to the basket?
Justin Powell's ability to get to the basket tonight has been, I think, the most impressive aspect of his game. But that is a beautiful finish there by Michael Weathers, and Weathers continues to be a leader for the Tigers of Texas Southern.
Well, Weathers did a great job breaking down the defense. Auburn tried to ice him, which means that they're going to zone him with two players on the side and force him to go one direction. And instead, Weathers split the defenders and attacked the rim. And an offense will trump a great defense.
Well, and there you see some of that height off the rebound there for Jalen Williams going up to get it. Cambridge driving again, picks up his dribble, catch and shoot.
That's a great inside-outside game. I would never be upset with that because you broke down the defense, then you kicked it back, and then you had an opportunity to rebound the ball.
And the foul on the floor will lead us to the break. Auburn holding on to a 13-point lead, all thanks to the point guard, Justin Powell.
Where's that 6'6" point guard that can attack the rim, take contact, and knock it down?
In all your favorite places. Cutwater. Set your cocktail free.
Marty Smith and Ryan McGee have some fun and talk everything SEC. Wednesday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Fun basketball tonight in Auburn Arena as the preseason SWAC champions visiting Auburn Arena to take on Bruce Pearl and the Auburn Tigers. They gave Auburn everything they wanted in the first half of play, went into halftime with a 1-point lead, but in the second half, no question who's dominated. It's the Auburn Tigers outscoring Texas Southern 35-21. Been a busy week, though, around the SEC, and lots of things to talk about in the basketball world. And Missouri, of course, they upset number 6 Illinois for bragging rights. Second top 25 win for Missouri this season. Coach, they're going to be a team to watch. And then Kentucky, they're off to a slow start. Had a great recruiting class, fell to Notre Dame. They're 1-4 for the first time since the mid-'80s. And, boy, Georgia survived a Sanford team that, to be honest, I don't think anybody wants to play right now with their new head coach up in Birmingham. Georgia survived that one after trailing by 4 at the half.
Well, I can look at Georgia and I look at Kentucky, and I know they'll be ready. But what impressed me for the SEC, Missouri, they beat a real good Illinois team, and that's a warning. That's a fire being shot over the bow for everybody in the SEC that this Missouri team has realigned their game with a coaching staff that pushes the ball, that defends and plays at a high pace, and it's going to be some exciting games in the SEC this season.
You know, Auburn, one of the reasons they scheduled Texas Southern tonight, have Troy on the weekend, and then Appalachian State next week. Too hot to handle there for...
Well, why was it too hot to handle? You see what Auburn did? They came out of a timeout. They switched their defenses, confused. They didn't confuse Coach Jones at the sideline. He knew what they were doing, but they confused the players out on the floor, especially the point guard. What happens? Turnover, hot pass, and Auburn steals a possession.
16th turnover of the night for Texas Southern. They're averaging 12.5 a game. For the Tigers of Texas Southern, going to make one final push to try to knock down a few shots and get back into this basketball game.
Now's the time that they have to start knocking down the three.
Well, Auburn's defense on the last possession, good example as to why Texas Southern has struggled so bad tonight.
Because of the tempo. Auburn came out of a timeout. They went to a different defense. They set traps on the sideline. Just picked the pace up. Decision-making went too fast, and the decision window for the Texas Southern ball players was a turnover. Too hard of a pass. And that's a compliment to these young men out there, this young team of freshmen and sophomores that are starting to understand Coach Pearl's philosophy of a multiple defensive team, to change defenses, to disrupt what the opponent wants to do.
Rosas knocks down both free throws. He has 7 tonight. 11-point game. Auburn trying to eat some clock and get a basket here in the final 2.5 minutes.
I was always concerned at this time to have player movement and people movement, so there could be a double team, or you put them in a decision-making mode all the time. Great pass, great catch,
great finish.
In terms of Jalen Williams catching that ball and finishing. What are you seeing different from this Auburn team right now? You're seeing a team that is maturing offensively, of attacking the rim. You don't see them just looking for that three-point shot. And then they go to the zone defense, and J.T. Thor comes out.
And Thor on the breakaway will have another chance at 2. And yeah, Coach, we've talked about Flanagan going to the rim. Well, Jalen Williams has taken his lead. All of a sudden you blink, and Williams has 15 points along with Powell.
Yeah. And what I saw there is attacking the rim, but defensively they go to zone defense. JT Thor on the opposite side gets into the passing lane and deflects the ball and has a run out. Now, if the jungle was here, he would have slammed that baby down, but then he went up with the Barbie doll layup and got fouled.
2 free throws from the big man out of Anchorage, Alaska. 4 was 7. Auburn's free throw shooting is slowly improved tonight. They still shot 32 compared to Texas Southern's 9. Brigham lost his footing, and Auburn comes up with an 18th turnover of the night.
That's just great composure by this Auburn team to break down Texas Southern. This is a good Texas Southern team, and they're preseason favorites to win the SWAC. So I would think that being on the road as long as they have been, they're building a good repertoire in terms of how tough they have to play and how consistent they have to play.
Yeah, Texas Southern, they started out with a West Coast swing with a win at Wyoming. That's by far their best win of the year.
And you're seeing them miss shots right now, but and I put it to endurance. I think muscle endurance and fatigue has set in simply because of the pace of the Auburn team, what they did defensively and offensively, subbing, playing 10, 11 ball players.
Yeah, for Auburn, Coach Bruce Pearl, he's wanting to get the younger guys, the walk-ons in who put in the work every day during practice and put in the work just as the top 2 rotations do. And Coach, always a good sign when you can put those guys in because, well, one of the reasons it means that you're up big.
Yeah, it's party time, but getting back and following that thought that I was mentioning to you, the fact that Auburn plays so many players and they contribute. They just wore down this Texas Southern team in terms of just shooting the ball. They got tired legs, and Auburn was energized to attack the rim.
Preston Cook, the sophomore out of Auburn, Alabama, hometown player, getting his first points. And with 17 seconds left, Auburn will be able to control to the final tip. Mostra brings it up the floor out of Lakewood Ranch, Florida. All in all, a great second half for the Auburn Tigers, outscoring Texas Southern 41-23 in the second period of play as Auburn goes on to win it 80-63, and Auburn improves to 4-2 on the regular season. Coach Joe Ciampi, your final thoughts is, again, a back-and-forth first half, a competitive basketball game, but in the end, Auburn took advantage of a lot of mistakes.
Well, it's a great learning experience and a teaching moment for this Auburn team. The three-point shot wasn't working. What did they find? They found a way defensively in the second half to come out to break down the Texas Southern team. Offensively, what did they do? They attacked the rim, starting with Flanagan. Flanagan built up that offensive confidence, and it just fed to the team, and they come up with a big-time victory.
For Joe Ciampi, I'm Britt Bowen saying so long from Auburn, where the final score is Auburn 80, Texas Southern 63. Be sure to tune into the SEC Network Saturday, December 19th at 2 Eastern, 1 Central, as the Auburn Tigers welcome the Troy Trojans to Auburn Arena.